it's Brittany. So, today's going to be a movie review, and today I'll be reviewing Tombstone. And for those who have not seen Tombstone but would like to, and those who love Western movies, this is what it's about. Wyatt Earp and his brothers Morgan and Virgil have left their gunslinger ways behind them to settle down and start a business in the town of Tombstone, Arizona. While they aren't looking to find trouble, trouble soon finds them when they become targets of the ruthless cowboy gang. Now, together with Wyatt's best friend, Doc Holliday, the brothers pick up their guns once more to restore order to a lawless land. So this is such a great movie, a great drama Western movie, and it's one that I actually grew up with watching quite young. So even though at the time I didn't understood to what was going on, but I did remember just liking it growing up, and so yeah, it's actually my favorite Western movie, and the only one I grew up watching. So it's directed by George P. Cosmatos, written by Kevin Jarre, and of course we have a great cast here: Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Michael Biehn, if that's how you say it, Powers Booth, Robert Burke, Dana Delaney, Sam Elliott, Stephen Lane, Joanna Picula, Bill Paxton, and of course we have Billy Zane and Charlton Heston. So we just have a great cast here. And so it was released in theaters December 25th, 1993, so on Christmas Day in 93. So yes, of course, this, even though it doesn't say based on true events or on a true story, but it is a movie that is based on what happened on, on true events of what happened in Tombstone. And so yeah, with now I have seen the movie called, what was it called, with Kevin Costner, because I think it was Kevin Costner that played Wyatt Earp in this other version of the movie. Yeah, so it's called Wyatt Earp, with Kevin Costner. So that I have seen. So that one came out a year after Tombstone, so that came out in 1994. So the difference here between those two movies is that in the beginning of this one, it just shows Wyatt Earp's life before Tombstone, but in Tombstone, it doesn't show the life that Wyatt Earp had before he came to Tombstone, Arizona. And so this one here is 3 hours and 32 minutes. Now I could probably review that another time, but I would say both are good, although I gotta say, even after watching that, I thought, well, this one is good, and I can see there are some similarities, and even though I would say there are differences, because there are things that one shows that Tombstone doesn't, but it's like, that's okay, each movie is different, especially when it's based on a real life person, but this one is pretty much showing his life, so it's a more of a biopic movie of Wyatt Earp. But with Tombstone, even though it is it's mostly based with Wyatt Earp, his brothers, and Dark Holiday and the events that take place in Tombstone. And so, of course, even though I liked White Earp with Kevin Costner, although I thought, whoa, I can see they were taking a different approach, but I just love Tombstone more, and I don't know, find it a little bit more better and entertaining in some ways. But yes, we have it was a great story. Now it's a true story, and these true events that happened that took place. Now, I don't know, because I know that well, maybe not every, but certain movies that do this where they will dramatize certain things, especially if it's a story that's based on a true story or based on a person's life, you know. So, yes, I just love Tombstone. I just love that they were to capture that time and were they just were able to bring that to life, and with the cast. Now the cast is perfect because Kurt Russell was the perfect choice for Wyatt Earp, and these other great actors as well: Sam Elliott, Bill Paxton, and of course we have Billy Zane, who's also in this, and we get Charlton Heston, which of course he appears a little later in the movie, but still a great actor. And we also get Val Kilmer as well, who plays Doc Holliday. So yeah, his performance as Doc Holliday is just a really great performance, and that's why I think that's why I hear a lot of great positive reviews of his performance, because it's like, yeah, it's really great. And of course with everyone else as well. Okay, oh my, I forgot to look up on the music. I am so sorry. I usually don't forget on to look up on the music, but I forgot somehow. I am so sorry. So yes. Now, I just want to say I don't know which parts of Tombstone that are either maybe some of it is accurate to some things and where some were dramatized, but I think I can guess maybe which parts were dramatized. Although I gotta say that when it came to the scene of Morgan's death, played by Bill Paxton, that when he was shot, in the movie it doesn't. Okay, for one, it doesn't mention to. Um, okay, it doesn't mention like exactly how this happened, and it also what else was I gonna say? That um oh yeah, so it doesn't exactly, I mean, even though it does show to how he got shot, but it doesn't show anything else of his death, because to how he died is how the real Morgan did die. But now from what it shows in the movie, let me just put it this way: to how he died in the movie, it was that, although to how he really died was actually more oh gosh, it was just very, very horrible. And it was just so it was just very horrible, and it was devastating, because to how he really died. Okay, you know how when he was playing pool and then he gets shot in the back, and it seems like for somebody to have shot him, that somebody would have to been outside somewhere and to had like a view of where he was playing pool inside and just uh, shoot him, and that he was shot in the back. Well, he was, but what the movie doesn't show is to how really bad it was, because it was really bad. Because from what I've read on Wikipedia is that when he was shot, because in the movie it shows when he was shot in the back that the bullet was stuck, that it was in there and that they couldn't get it out. Well, actually that didn't really happen. What happened in real life was that Morgan, when he got shot, the bullet wasn't in there where they couldn't take it out. It actually it went through, and so the bullet hit something inside him. I think it was one of his organs or somewhere of his spine, and the bullet came out the other end, and so he was bleeding a lot, and it was just horrible. So if you want to read about that, you could look that up on Wikipedia, because it does show, well, it mentions too exactly like the detail of how he was shot, how bad it was. So I think maybe they didn't want to put that on Tombstone, because maybe they just felt like, no, we don't want to make this so I'm guessing maybe they just didn't feel comfortable to put that in, knowing how bad it was when he got shot. So maybe that's why they just wanted to do that scene just differently. So I get that, if that's why, if they just didn't want to do that and they just want to somehow film it another way, where it's still as sad, because it's still sad either way. It's still very just devastating, and yeah, it was just so horrible, but yeah, to what really happened, it was worse. But either way, even from what we see in the movie, it's still just very sad to see. Okay, music. Bruce, what, Bronton. I hope I said that right. So, okay, yeah. So it does say here this film is loosely based on the real events that took place in the 1800s. No, I'm sorry, 1880s. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I just said 1800s. I mean, even though it was, but it's not like early. I'm sorry. But yeah, 1880s, in the southeast Arizona, including the gunfight at the OK Corral and the Vendetta ride. Yeah. Yes, this is just a great movie, even though, as I said, that is loosely based on the real events that take place in Tombstone, but still, it's just a great movie. And yes, even though some things they probably changed a bit, including Morgan's death from what I just told you, and even though I think there are some things where they kind of made it a little bit more tense, just to make it, of course, just a little bit more dramatic, and of course it worked very well. And yeah, I just love it. It is, I mean, I don't know how many Western movies I've actually seen, but I don't think it's that many. But yeah, Tombstone is one of my favorite Western movies, and I just enjoy watching it, and I just love it. And now, even though I live in Arizona, I just never been to Tombstone, and I don't know how far it is from here, but I would love to go to Tombstone one day and just you know, just visit there, where what really happened there, because it's just a historical piece. It's a historical landmark of that piece of land of what really happened, and I would just love to go there one day. And so yeah, I actually love learning more about Tombstone, because it's like the more I learn, the more it's like, just so interesting to learn, because that's the thing, I love history, because to me history is so fascinating, because it's like the more you learn about a piece of history, no matter how long ago it was, there's always something interesting to learn. And it's like, wow, really? Well, I didn't know that, but I'm glad that I know that. And because there are some things where I think it's either, something just really interesting and fascinating to learn about, but then of course there are some things where it's going to be just so horrible and so sad, but yet it's like on one hand you're glad that you have learned that, because it's like, okay, even though this was horrible and so sad to that this or that happened, but okay, well, I'm glad at least I know that, because that's something that happened, But yes, I just gotta say that again, this is just a great movie, even though it's loosely based on the true events of what really happened, but I just love it for how it turned out, and I love the cast, they're great, and I love their performances and the music. The music just fits so well with Tombstone. It's just like the icing on the cake, and yeah, I just love everything about Tombstone. It's just a great movie, and it's just one of those movies that I will never get tired of watching, and that I will just watch it again and again, because it's my favorite Western movie. So, yep. But yes, everyone did such a good job, and I love everybody's performances and the music and just everything, and the location setting, and how it really feels like you're at that time in the 1880s of where it took place. So, yeah, I just love it. I love the feel of it, of that time. Like, it feels, of course, very different. But yeah, I also enjoy Western movies too, although I think it depends on the kind of Western movie, if you know what I mean. Like, there's just certain ones that I like, and there are some that I don't, depending on what it is that they show, and I'm like, okay, they shouldn't have done that, But it just depends. But this one, I absolutely love it. So yes, and for those who haven't seen Tombstone, I highly recommend it. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this movie review. So for more movie content, reactions, streams, and paranormal, subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified when I upload. That's all for today, and I'll see you at the movies.